Welcome back to Who That 242. I'm your host TIMMAY here on episode 47 of Who That 242 on the Solid Podcast Network. Shout out to sponsor Alive. It's a bigger bio network. And today we have a Bahamian who ain't even living in the Bahamas. I know a superstar here. You can call her
Wow.
Soaky Siren.
Yeah.
My very first question is, what type of OnlyFans name is this?
What type of OnlyFans? First of all, you got to take that up with my daddy immediately.
Soaky Siren.
You got to take that up with my daddy. My nickname, that's entirely his vibe. That wasn't, I had
From
nothing to do with none of my
where,
names.
where it come from?
My
I need to
daddy.
hear this.
Okay, first of all, it ain't my real name. That's my
Of
nickname.
course, naturally, I wouldn't expect your passport to say Silky Siren. Come on now.
Listen, the thing is the Soaky part come from daddy. The siren actually came well like later in time, but
Mm-mm.
the Soaky come from daddy. He gave me that nickname because apparently that was his mummy's nickname.
So I come to generations.
Yeah, so he handed it down for me, and the thing is,
Mm.
I used to hate it because when I was a little girl, I used to get teased because there was a calypso song that children discussed in, so they
Of
always
course,
find something to tease you about.
rude.
So
Mm.
I'll come to school, and then like the little boys would be like, "Soaky, Soaky, Soaky," and I was just like, "Bro,"
So
I,
fresh,
I was like,
fresh.
I was like, "Mommy, tell mommy." I literally remember going home and saying, "Mommy, stop calling me Soaky in front of these children, please, because they teasing me at school." And she was like, "Okay." And you know how your parents is good. Did she do that for like must see one day?
Double
But
down. Then she doubled down on it.
and then it was right back. But every time I was like, "Mommy, you have to call because my real name is Rosina." And
Mm-mm.
she's like, "Okay." I think she did it for like one day, and I think I remember having this little moment. It only could have been like grade 5, maybe even grade 6, and I was like, you know what? I just did this declaration. I don't know who I thought it was. I was biggity a little bit, but I was like, only my best friends could call me Soaky. Like I thought I was doing something with that, and I said only my
Yeah.
best friends. And for a while, like only like my best friends would call me Soaky. And by the time as I ended up in high school, I was already rapping, and I was just
Mm,
like I could just take ownership of this name, and then
mm, mm, mm.
at that point, everybody was calling me Soaky, so the teasing wasn't happening anymore. It was just like accept it.
So I saying off air how I happy to you still have your thing and everything cool and the accent is just flowing, flowing, flowing and then we just joke. A lot of people is going to Orlando for 2 weeks and come back come back with an American accent.
I don't understand that. And the thing is, I feel like I would, you know what it is? My family wouldn't let it down. I feel like
And I sure you talk to them a lot too. So they ain't like you ain't talking to nobody.
everything. I on the phone to my mommy like 3 times a day, and I
Mm-mm.
just feel like people they'll take my passport if I come home,
How
and
who you think you is?
like exactly like I can't. No, I can't. I can't imagine. It don't even feel right.
So
Like
you said high school you started rapping, so that was your entry into the music game. You come on trade with bars.
let me tell you something. I owe my mommy plenty money because in high school I wasn't. I won't say this too loudly and proudly, but my notebooks instead of notes had
Bars.
sauce. I specifically remember I probably owe my best friend, mommy and daddy some money too, because I'll be like, "Bye, come listen to these lyrics."
Mm-hmm.
Lyrics. And that was basically all I was doing. That was all I had my mindset on. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, but I rapping, I writing these bars, this, that, and the next. I would battle rap sometimes. And that was
This was
my
in
mom
school or this was like with your friends?
in school with my friends. Like I remember like I even had one teacher one time called me out of class. I just say, yeah, it was I think we was in class and she just was like, boy, come here, Mimi. I want you to rap against these boys. And I
Shout out to Teach.
teach was lit. Teach was lit. You know it always be like the PE teachers that is be
Yeah,
bugging.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You understand? And so I remembered like I would just be freestyling nonstop. And I think that was in hindsight where I would that was basically me setting a foundation for me to have a very stylized approach to songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was like my training ground. That was my kiddie pool for the vibes.
And which school is this, if you don't mind me asking?
Freeport, Bishop Michael Elvin now, but Freeport,
Michael Allen. Okay, okay, okay. I got you. I got you.
yeah.
And was there any like a lot of people that used to have usually the You should have like the choir and thing. Did you in your life? Any choir in Sunday?
Let me tell you something. I didn't I could be 100. Like the singing didn't come until way late in my career out of
Mm-mm.
necessity. Like I was a rapper. Like it wasn't no notes. It was like ba 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 16 16. So it wasn't
Yeah.
that and the kind of things we was rapping about wasn't necessarily conducive for the church.
Right, right, right.
So I actually, I mean, I grew up obviously like everybody else. We grew up in church, but I took from that, like I always loved, this is the crazy thing, like I went to the school is Anglican, so
Mm.
I used to go crazy for like the hymns. And although I didn't have like, clearly I obviously could have sang then, but I just wasn't aware that I had that muscle yet. So I just
Mm.
assumed, like I could rap and other people you need singers. But
Yeah, yeah.
I always love the songs. Like
Mm.
Christmas hymns, I go like Silent Night is a smash to me to this day.
Yeah.
Noel, a
Pause. Pause. So see, I got like so I understand. I understand that they go crazy in December.
let me tell you something. And our school song, I don't know if it's still, but I hope it is. But Immortal Invisible, I don't care what nobody say. Them people in whatever century that was, they knew Gregorians, they knew what
Um,
they was doing with their melodies, bad. Them
mm-mm.
songs. So long story short, like I always had an admiration for singing, but I didn't develop that skill set until later on when I actually was studying in the States. And I was like, wait, I need people to demo my songs, but I ain't got them, we broke college kid ain't got no money to pay for no demo
So
singer.
you start doing your own demos.
Exactly. I was like, child, T Pain got his auto tune set to zero. I can set mine. If I gotta sound like a robot, y'all can get that idea.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how I ended up building that muscle.
So take me to the journey of you finished school in Freeport. Now you
Yeah.
decide what I doing for college. What was that? Was that mindset? I going straight for the music, or was it the regular? Let me do a regular or degree first, then do the
Uh-huh.
music. What was that journey like for you as a 17, 18-year-old fresh out of high school in Freeport? Not even the big city, the second city where I must say a lot of creators came out of Freeport, but at that time, a lot of people say, you know what? Let me go do a little small degree first.
Mm-hmm.
Get a backup plan because a lot of people I've had who that would say they did the 4 year degree for a backup plan. Then they
Mm-hmm.
did the creative. But what was your take on it?
Well, exactly that because the parentals. Um, and so let's just say it was a calculated negotiation. My
Okay.
mommy, my mommy hit me after school. She was very much like, and in hindsight, I was like, I get it. They want you to get off that island so you don't get comfortable. So, and mommy was like, you need to decide what you're doing because you are going to get an education. I don't care what you want to do with this music thing. And because at the time, parents look at that as like it could be a hobby, but there wasn't
Yeah.
a
No full time
consideration.
situation.
And so she was like, you need to pick a school. And I was like, I need to be in the States anyway because I got to figure out how to set up this thing anyway. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I see you. And she ain't even play. She was like, and you have to go to grad school. I was like, okay. So I saw it both ways. I'm like, technically it's a plan B and something to fall back on, but my mindset and I was tenacious. I was like, this is plan A. I
Yeah.
just happen to need to be in that location.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did the thing and I remember like I was in Bari and I was doing my MBA, and I would go from the studio. I would go to class, and from class I would go to the studio. And because I was just determined to get in any opportunity I could, I was interning. So I was cleaning up bathrooms at studios. I was picking up people orders for food, and I ended up. I would go from, like I said, class, studio, intern, be at the studio until 6:30 a.m., get home, make one little something to eat, my little quick little breakfast,
Mm-mm.
shower, go to my car, and I would sleep in my car. Mommy would have my head, but I would sleep in my car for like a couple hours and go right back to class. So I
Yeah.
just did that whole sequence of like just hustling, and trying to be as get in any opportunity and walk in any door. And because I was, an independent artist and nobody knew me, so but eventually they saw that, oh, you have a pen, you should start writing for people. Because
Mm-hmm.
the way the business is if you ain't especially then, if you wasn't on a major label, which that means, okay, so you don't have a major budget, so ain't no producer inclined to
Right, right.
work on your stuff. So I was like, geez, but they were like, they would hear my stuff and they would be like, no, you crazy. You should write for this. And so I was like, okay, cool. This is the way in the door. And what was meant to be a foot in the door turned into a full fledged career for me.
And like, and if you really know the business, like I know you do, like to my listeners, like that's what the money is. So like people don't know like these Beyonce albums, like the dream making millions and gazillions off of Beyonce.
Let me say, once that was the golden era of songwriting.
Yeah.
And that's another TED talk for another day. So yes, I would say yes if you have number one singles, major
Yeah,
singles.
of course, yeah. If you put the big bucks, yeah, yeah.
Times are different because the thing is, if I had the discography and catalog that I have now with, and it was like maybe in like the 90s or something, but I would have been home. I probably would have been on my second or third house. That's how
Damn.
much the industry has changed, and streaming has basically
Streaming has really diluted it a lot.
it has decimated the revenue for songwriting. And then you add on the now because of the way this industry set up. Like I said, that's a TED talk for another day. But and to say, but the thing is, I at the same time I have to give credit, be able to be to I wouldn't be where I am now without the opportunities and the records that I've written on, and I wouldn't be able to be putting out the music I'm putting out now. So
Right.
still giving credit to that, but I'm just saying these people playing with our money
A-
nonetheless.
Amen. So before we get into that, I gotta shout out our sponsors alive. Believe in best, the bigger, better network. Bring your own device. If you're like me and you like buy your phone from the States or you have them other people, come over to live. You earn 450 in bill credits. If you're postpaid, if you're prepaid, you earn $50 cash back to your rewards wallet. So switch to live today. Bring your own device and never stop believing. So let's fast forward through your going to college, getting your degree. Yeah. So Barry, you say he's in Miami.
Hmm.
Miami. So let's fast forward to how we get to you having songs on Spotify and writing for others. Talk to me about that. Was it a moment? Was it a series of moments? Talk to me about that.
Hmm.
That switched. What flipped?
It was a it wasn't a switch. It was a again yet another calculated negotiation. So after you get your degree, naturally the parents are looking at you like, so you get you your job and start making your way in the world. And I was like, okay, I have my degree, mommy. I going to LA to be to be a songwriter. And it was radio silence for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at that point she had seen how passionate I was, and she was like, and I had saved enough at that time. I remember I was like, I can use this to just to get over, just to get to LA. At that point I tested the waters. Let me be give the full story. I tested the waters before I had finished school. Came over here for 2 weeks, and the amount of work that I got, people that didn't know me from Adam was like, "Oh, you dope. Let's just do." It was a lot different than what I was dealing with in Miami, because Miami things go to could get a little ratchet and hood in a hot.
Mm-mm.
But
Amen. Amen. I completely understand.
yeah, so and then me being a young woman, and like that's like I said, another TED talk for another day.
Yeah.
But I got to LA and I realized, like, no, there's a framework, there's a system here, there's an industry here. And I was like, this is where I need to be. So I told the farm, I was like, I coming over here, moved over here, and did the same, basically doubled down on what I was doing in Miami, just hustling and getting in a number of rooms. And then eventually I had started getting some cuts, and I feel like my earliest one would have been Danity, the reunion that Danity Kane had at the time, so
Mm-hmm.
a while back. And around the thing is, when you start doing rounds, publishers start getting wind of you because naturally they're getting these records and your name is
Who
starting to.
who who is this? Who is
Yeah.
this?
So, luckily, a friend of mine, and also actually it was two mutual friends of mine who said, to my publisher now, you should meet this gal. And so at that point, we met, and we just, my publisher is probably like one of my biggest rocks to this day in my career. And she was like, you know what, let's figure this out. And what they did was they started putting me in bigger rooms. And I think when we did the deal, a few months later, the first cut that came out that I had done, published to them, was a record called Body on Me by Rita Ora and Chris Brown. And yeah,
I know that song. I know that song.
I
Okay.
glad you know that song. I glad you know
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. So we did. I did that, and then afterwards, like, it's truly just been building and building and building ever since. Because they put me in rooms, and eventually, like, that turned into something else. And strangely, one of the very first sessions that they put me in was Sean Paul, and
Mm.
I've had,
Naturally, they try to put you the little,
but
the island vibes.
it was coincidence though. It just so happened that he was over here and he
Mm.
was working, and I ended up having,
Hold on, is your last name Russell? Not the Google credits, not the Wikipedia, not the
stop,
not the Wikipedia number two songwriting on the. Okay, all right.
what
Go ahead.
I
Sorry, I had the little.
no,
I had the. Okay, go on. Go ahead. Okay, that's
yeah. So we, I've been working. That's long story short. I've been working.
all right. All right.
The Like, I was talking about Sean Paul because the funny thing is, one of the first sessions that my publisher had put me in, that record just spin the block and come round and
Right.
came out this year. It's a song called Light My Fire with Gwen Stefani and
I
Shensia.
I remember that song. Yeah.
Yeah,
So hold
so
on,
it
that connection happened back after I read the song, but that song just come out though, right?
just came out. Like, that
Wow.
was, that's ages ago. That's, this the song. It's a one drop. The thing is, a one drop song, like them kind of reggae anthems, they
Right,
timeless.
right, right,
You know,
right. Of course.
so they don't. They don't.
No matter when that drop, that live on.
Period.
All right,
Period.
all right, all right.
Yeah. But that's the journey. That's how I get here.
And it's so interesting. That's 2015. That was the same time this podcast started in 2014. So you started around the same time doing movies.
Yeah, just putting in the work, and then eventually, like I said, I started getting records. Like, I started to have success, and then within myself, I was like, all right, you're doing part of your job, because the thing about purpose is, it always is come calling. And I
Mhm.
just realized, I was like, you came here to do music, but in a specific way, and that's to tell your story in a
Right,
specific
right.
way. That is, before anything else, you're an artist, so you can't keep chasing this thing and expect to feel like fulfilled if you're not walking in your purposefully. And
Mm-hmm.
around this time, like, because I always have catch ups with my publisher, and we would go through records, and she was like, "Girl, this is a Soaky song. You need to stop putting out your music." And that
Cool.
was
That's a Soaky song.
kombucha. No, that was Doughboys, actually. I think one of them.
What year was that?
That
Because
was
I see
around 2019. I think
because
that's what I think.
kombucha was 2018.
Okay, so 2018. Sheesh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was like,
Nice.
"Oh, you need to start." And I have since then, with my team, my manager, we've been in the trenches putting out these records and just
Mhm.
building. Like, we've been blessed, and we've gotten some of the songs have been licensed by, like, Zumba.
Mhm.
I've had,
Hey, so I'm a big soca and carnival guy. So like this really type of some upbeat music. You see, no
yeah,
little, you can't keep still when you hear your songs.
that's the whole plan. My goal is, I want to make sure I'm making the world dance, so I want to give them a soundtrack to something. So I was actually, one of my songs was on FIFA 21 for, um yeah, FIFA
Which which
21. It's called MIA.
which all right. So if
Yeah.
I on Spotify now, so if you're looking at this, you would think
Hmm.
your career started 2018. So you got kombucha, then
Hmm.
you have upside down,
Um,
quality,
yeah.
dope boys,
Sheesh.
summer wine,
Oh,
and then in 2019 you put all those songs into the Lukaya EP. Then 2010 you got MIA, and you got Top Gal in 2021. You got Bundles in 21.
Energy.
halfway to Paradise in 21, get out in 21, and then Element 21.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at that, you would think you just come out nowhere. But like you just say, you from 2015, your name was on paper.
In the trenches from then.
Hmm,
Mm-hmm.
hmm. So
That's the
you yeah. So when they missed from this Spotify is until 2022, and the year then halfway over. You know, I know.
because that listen, the business and the way things work, like
Mhm.
there's a lot. If I feel like a lot of people look at the artistry when you see these releases, you're seeing a realized product,
Right,
but the
right.
artistry is completely like there's a part behind the scenes that people ain't seeing. So long story short,
And
I
I'm a
have
really big BTS guy. Like I love seeing the process. I love seeing how people do the type of stuff. I think that's the real magic.
yeah. Well, this and the thing is, we have been very intentional about finding the right home for this next project.
Hmm.
So that's like that. The reason for the slow up was I had made a move and the building wasn't the right fit, and that happens. So that momentum that I would have liked to have, where I could just keep dropping, 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 it got slowed down a bit. But now we've aligned with some really with a really solid space now, and we're gonna start releasing. I think October this year. I'll start and naturally
Falls, Queen of the
fall
Fall.
out. Christmas is a wash because everybody we on holiday and so it'll be
You know, once Halloween come, Mariah Carey just start that shit, and that's
yeah
it. That's
the
that's that. That's
that's
that.
it that's it. No space for nobody else at this point. Ain't nobody watching that.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, but now, like I say, we running it up. Like the EP's done. I have an
Hmm.
EP. I'm working on the next one at this point.
Cold.
So yeah,
This year stuff that behind you.
yeah, and I really excited. Like I
So
getting
I hope you come home for the new one to get some new, get some new energy and
period. And the thing is, let me tell you something. Home always in my music. Like
yeah.
if you listen to the lyric, like MIA, I feel like that's a good example. Like I'll sneak in little things, like the pre-chorus on MIA is like, I don't go to PI. I can't cuss on your thing, but that thing
Man,
that's
it's
supposed.
good. You can
Oh,
cuss.
okay.
You
Because
can
I was
cuss.
like, let's see y'all brands. I don't want to mess that up or mash it up.
Come on.
It's like I don't go to PI. That shit's just for terrorists. Because every time people say, when I say from the Bahamas, everybody's be like, oh, Atlantis, and I'm like,
So every Christmas we have the Bahamas Bowl, the
mm,
football game, and every time the team was awarded the game,
mm.
yes, I can go to Atlanta. So it's like
Hey, let me tell you something.
all the things we have, and you excited to see the hotel,
That's the whole
the
like even
hotel.
that whole EP, Lakaya, the first EP I did, that was one of the first that the main reason or the inspiration was like to tell to basically reveal that our paradise is a lot different from the version of paradise that people experience or see when they're getting the marketed.
Hmm.
So that's a common thread in a lot of my music.
Like I asked the coach,
Mm.
how you feel about coming to Bahamas? He said, I haven't been there 5 times before. Oh, where have you been? Oh, let me say that, Atlantis. You brag about about coming here for 5 years in a row, but you never even leave the bridge to go back home. That's it.
And swim with the pigs probably.
Hmm. Hmm.
And granted, I could respect that. I mean, I don't expect more. Like if you're a tourist, cool. But
Yeah.
I just think for the sake of
You have for 2 weeks and you even leave the bridge, bro. Wow.
some people set up. I don't know. But you know what?
I,
After the pandemic, I could sit in one place while I realized
yeah, we get conditioned now.
I could sit in one place. Like, when I say I could be in my home and mind my business
Mhm.
and drink my water.
Okay, Patrice. Okay, Patrice. Drink
Period.
water and mind your business. But
That's all I
so
do.
happy to have you here. Let people know where they could find you, where they could find your music, when they could just reach out to you.
I am everywhere. My all of my things is the same. It's Soaky Siren everywhere. So whether that's on
Brandon.
YouTube,
Brandon, I love it. I love it.
IG, Spotify, make sure y'all not only listen, but make sure y'all hit that follow button, hit them hearts, all of that, subscribe, all of that, because all of that is necessary for building and forward motion.
Amen. Amen.
But yeah, easy. Any all social Soaky Siren.
Well, the street saying that Buddy might get traded to the Lakers within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if Buddy gets traded to the Lakers, I am coming to out LA for a game. So I will definitely link you.
Period. Period. That's a must. Make sure. And then when I come home, we have to link. So
No
that's good.
problem. Say
That
less.
that done set up.
This is with episode 47 of Who That 242 on Solar Podcast Network. Shout out to Live and see y'all next week.
Yeah.